G'day guys and welcome back to Jans_gaming for another Dokkan battle video. So for today's video I wanted to go through how I would be building the new TEQ BROLY and the new physical Super Saiyan Trio's hidden potential. That works for if you've got them at 55% or whether you've got some dupes in them and you can sort of get a bit more usability out of the hidden potential system. So what we'll firstly do is go through the kits of the units, and I'll just discuss why I'm going the route that I'm going. So looking at the TEQ BROLY first, you can see here, here's a damage reduction unit. So straight off the bat, that should make you think raw defense is going to be extremely useful. Now he gets damage reduction in all positions here, so in base he's also got guards, so the stats really help there too. It's like a win-win. That's all we really have to look at with Broly's kit there. As we switch across to Legendary Super Saiyan, doesn't look like the picture's going to update there, but for his super attack effect it does change, well, because he can super, so we get 30% attack and defense there, really good. And then on the 18 key we are greatly stacking his attack, so that's a 50% boost. Anytime you're able to get like extra defense on your supers, I'm always going to suggest that additional is a very, very effective way to go. So that's definitely something worth considering there. When it comes to his passive, you can see it does have lots of big numbers there. He gets the 50% damage reduction for the 3 turns from his entry, plus an additional 26%. So he's got 76% damage reduction right there. So that follows on from the first sort of part where raw defense is going to be really, really effective on this guy. You can see that he does also get a chance of performing a crit at 10% up to 50% with each attack performed. So that, for me, that pretty much just negates the need to put any crit on this Broly. 50% crit, coin flip, that's perfect. There's not much more that you can really ask for there, in my opinion. You see launches an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super after receiving an attack, and then he has 200% defense and guard as the first attacker there. So I think that makes this guy's build like pretty obvious. But what we'll do is we'll jump over into the game, like into Dokkan, and I'll show you how I've built my 55% Broly. So here we are in game, and as I mentioned, I do only have Broly at 55%, so I've pretty much only got the ability to use skill orbs on him to give him the extra booster here. Now, as you can see, I have gone with the +7 defense. I stand by raw defense is going to be probably the most effective way to operate with this Broly. Just really maximizing the stats that are available to him while he's got that big old damage reduction. And then in the silver slot here, you can see I've given him 4 additional and 2 dodge. So I think combo, like dodge and additional, is definitely going to be the way to go here in terms of like actual abilities, like for your bottom right hand paths and top lefts. I think a nice mix of dodge and additional is going to be effective because like we just had a look at it there, but when you do get your transformation here, we get the, where is it? Launch an additional super as the second or third, and then in the first one he has a high chance, and launches an additional that has a high chance of becoming a super. So that means you get a guaranteed additional 50% chance, and from that you can use that to proc the hidden potential. So if you can get this guy's additional to say 15 to 20 range, you're giving yourself between a 30 and 40% chance to proc that next super. So that's going to, like with 2 chances to proc that, it's going to be pretty regular that you are able to get that. And then in terms of the dodge, this Broly is a very heavy defensive unit. So the dodge just really lends into that ability of him being able to sit in slot 1, take those big old supers. You've got the damage reduction, or potentially if you get lucky, if you've gotten him up to like 15-20 dodge, you got like a 1 in 5 chance to get the dodge in there as well and just take no damage from it. So I think in terms of rankings, raw defense, dodge, and additional is definitely going to be the way to build Broly. So what we'll do now is we'll switch across to the physical Super Saiyan Trio. So here we are back on the Super Saiyan Trios kit, and we'll go through this. We'll do the same as we did with Broly. So you can see on their super attack effect, they raise attack for one turn, then they lower attack and defense. No defense there, so that is definitely worth keeping in mind. On their 18 key super, they greatly raise attack and defense, and then raise all super allies by 30%. So really good 18 key effect. The 12 key does drop off a little bit there. You can see 50% defense, and then the 30% there is awesome. Looking at the rest of their kit here, as a support class unit, that always lends itself to dodge, because even if it gets to a point where you don't want to run these guys on rotation, like just using them as a floating support is always really handy. They do get the 30% damage reduction against super attacks, so that plays into the same part before as Broly, where we do want to sort of buff that stat up as much as possible with raw defense. Let's see, they launched 2 additional attacks, each of which has a 50% of being a super with 18 key or more. So from that, you can then keep your additional to the minimum. If you're getting, say, like 5 or so, I mean, not 5 or so, like 10 or so additional with them, it's going to be pretty regular that you are cracking that extra hidden potential attack out. And then from the line above, below that, they are effective against all types on 24 key. Furthermore, they get the 15% damage reduction if you've got a movie heroes or all-out struggle category ally attacking in the same turn. So you can see these guys have quite a bit in their kit. I think it does mean that you can go with whatever your play style is in the hidden potential system. If we jump over into the game, or actually first before we do that, we will look at Super Saiyan Goku. So Super Saiyan Goku here, we may as well tick this off the list. But again, he's a unit that guards. He's unable to attack apart from the finish effect. And then, where is it? So he gets the 100% attack when you activate the finish effect, and then he's giving a support. So yeah, in this phase, he is extremely powerful because he gets the where is it? The 20% defense per case obtained. Leans to him being a very defensive unit when you do have your standby. But as you can see, we've got no crit in this build here. So if you're wanting the Spirit Bomb Punch or whatever we want to call it to be a crit, that's probably going to have to lead to you adding in a bit more crit to his hidden potential. But what we'll do now is we'll jump over in game and I'll show you how I've gone with my 55%. So same as Broly here, unfortunately I do only have the Super Saiyan Trio at 55%, so we're relying on skill orbs to do our thing. So in terms of skill orbs, I've gone to maximise their stats for the damage reduction. I've got the 7 raw defense equip on them. If you're able to get the 30% for when you're taking a super, and then you get the extra damage reduction for the movie heroes or all-out struggle category ally, I think that damage reduction will be really handy, and the defensive stats are definitely going to boost that. Then for their silver skill orb, you can see I had a level 3 crit and then +4 dodge. I think crit and dodge are both going to work really well in tandem with this character. If you're getting a turn where you get the quad super, if you're able to get the crits, that is definitely going to be pretty valuable. We start with +5 additional as a physical unit, so if you had these bottom key spheres here, maybe you want to chuck 1 or 2 more onto additional, and the rest I'd be going a lot of dodge and then getting some crit in there too. With your gold skill orbs, if we go to a unit where I can actually utilize gold skill orbs, let's see, something with dodge, is there Like you've got dodge, defensive equips there, could be really effective. If you wanted to sort of maximize raw attack, which I probably wouldn't, but you could go with something like that, a crit, an additional attack. It just sort of depends how you want to use these guys, whether you want them to be your floating support, or prepare them to be a support class unit for you, or whether you want them to be a real big old damage dealer, especially with that spirit bomb. So let me know down below how you're going to be building each of these units. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to keep up with the content, and hopefully I'll catch you all on the next video.